just to let you know, they really did turn the air conditioning off. There was good air conditioning, but they turned it off just to let everybody have a little more heat up here, so. All right, so just going to go over some quick rules and then I'll get started with the candidates here. So both candidates will be allowed 5 minutes for an opening statement. So they'll be able to give their opening statements for the first 5 minutes. Each of them will get the same amount of time. After that, they'll each be asked 10 questions. Each will going to alternate. So the first person who gives the first opening statement, the next candidate is going to give the answer to the first question, okay? They will have 3 minutes each to answer each of the questions. In the back, who's going to be holding up the sign? Dave's going to be holding up the sign. So when you see yellow, that means you're close. When you see red, it's kind of, or orange means you're
1 minute, 30 seconds.
okay. And sit down at red. So red is stop, okay? All right. So we enjoy being here, but we don't want to be here all night, okay? At the conclusion of the questions, each candidate will be given 3 minutes to do a closing statement. And the person who gave the opening statement, the other one will give the closing statement to start with. So, we're going to start with Kyle. Kyle Westbrook is going to be the first candidate, and you'll come up and give your opening statement.
Good afternoon, fellow Franklin County Republicans, friends, family, and neighbors. Thank you for being here at the Carnesville Community Center on this beautiful Saturday. And it's great to see rain outside and rain in the forecast. My name's Kyle Westbrook, and I'm honored to stand before you today as a candidate for Franklin County Commissioner District 4. I'm not a career politician. I'm a husband, a father, a business professional, a farmer, and a lifelong Franklin County guy. I was born in Royston and raised in Livonia. I earned my degree in business administration from Emmanuel College, and today I live in Sandy Cross with my wife, Melanie, and our 3 children. We worship at Royston Baptist Church, and I've spent many years coaching youth sports such as football, basketball, and baseball right here in our community. My life experiences have taught me the values of working hard, teamwork, and showing up for the next generation. I'm running for this office because I love this county, and I'm deeply concerned about its future. Franklin County has always been a special place of strong families, hardworking farmers, thriving small business, and classic Southern spirit. But we face real challenges: securing our water supply, managing thoughtful growth without losing our rural character, updating our development codes to be practical and farmer-friendly, and making sure agriculture remains the heart of our economy. I believe we can plan for the future while protecting what makes Franklin County home. That means reliable water for our families and farms, balanced growth that welcomes responsible industry without paving over our fields, and common sense policies that put taxpayers and local control first. As your commissioner, I will fight every day to keep taxes low, support our county employees and volunteers, improve infrastructure, and ensure our kids can grow up and build lives right here in the county we love. This forum today is exactly why I'm running, so you can hear it straight from me, listen to me answer questions, and get to know me better. I'm asking for your support in the May 19th Republican primary. As your next District 4 Commissioner, I promise to listen, to lead with integrity, and to always put Franklin County first. Before we move forward, I want to thank the Franklin County Republican Party leadership and volunteers for hosting this event. Thank you to all the candidates stepping up to serve. It takes courage, and we're all better for it. And most of all, thanks to all those who've shown up today for being here and staying engaged in the process that keeps our community strong. Let's keep Franklin County the best place in Georgia to raise a family, grow a business, and live the American dream. Together we can do it. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless Franklin County.
So next, we'll have Mr. Wesley Fritz. He'll come up and give his opening statement.
Thank you. I want to thank everybody for being here. It's a privilege to be here and speak to you this afternoon. I want to thank Kyle Westbrook for being here and being willing to stand up and run. I wish we had more people like that. We're going to need more people people standing up, running in the future. Because when the good people don't stand up, you leave opportunity for people that might not be so good. So thank you for being here, Mr. Westbrook, and it's a privilege to be in this forum with you. Thank the Republican Party. Thank y'all for being here. I want to thank the Republican Party for setting this up. It's an honor to speak to you this afternoon. Just want to thank you for providing opportunity. And my name is Wesley Fricks, and I offer myself as candidate for Franklin County Commissioner, District 4. I'm running for Franklin County Commissioner, District 4, because I believe that our county deserves strong, common sense leadership and a future we can all be proud of. All of us in this room need to be proud of the way our county's going. As I travel across Franklin County and talk with people, I hear the same thing over and over and over. People want leadership that listens. They want a responsible government, and they want a county that works together. That's why my campaign is built on a simple platform. First, we must unify Franklin County. No matter where you live in the county, we want safe communities, good opportunities for our family, and we want a government that respects the people that it serves. Second, we need to lower taxes and be responsible with taxpayer money. Hardworking families should know that their local government is spending wisely and focusing on what truly matters. Third, we need to encourage common sense economical growth and that brings opportunity and jobs while protecting the character of our communities. Fourth, we must protect our farmland. Agriculture is the backbone of Franklin County and one of the leading industries in the state of Georgia. And we must stand with the men and women who feed our communities and keep our heritage strong. And finally, we must support local education because strong schools build strong communities and prepare our children for the next generation for success. Mr. Westbrook wants things to remain the way they were when he was a kid. He said it, not me. That was a long time ago, people. And that is why we're in the situation that we're in. We have approximately 25,000 citizens in this county. We have 11,254 households, and 23% of those people are renters. And 19% are living below the poverty level. And Franklin County deserves better than that. And they deserve better than what we've had in the last 20 years. And I think there's nobody in this room that'll disagree with that. My message to the citizens of Franklin County is very simple. I hear you, I respect you, and I am ready to work for you. We must come together with unity, common sense, and a shared vision for the future. I know, and I really believe this, and I know everybody in here will agree with me, that I believe that Franklin County's best days are still ahead of us. So I'm asking for your vote. I'm asking for you to vote for Fricks for Franklin County Commissioner, District 4. And as Representative Alan Powell stated, you know, the state's been cutting taxes. We need to lower taxes in our county. And as Representative Powell said, Georgia can't afford to go back any, and neither can Franklin County. Thank you very much appreciate it. Okay, sure.
I do want to say, I didn't say this before, but it does take courage to come up here, especially, I was telling some of the candidates earlier, it's easy what I'm doing. I read off of this and I get to ask questions, but what they're doing is very difficult. So I appreciate you guys giving them respect, allowing them to answer the questions. If you have questions afterwards, please see them and ask them or talk with them. But as they're answering questions, please be respectful for that. So I want to make sure stated that. All right, with the first question, Mr. Wesley Fritz, this is gonna be your question first, and then Kyle, if you can follow after he gets done
Okay.
answering the question. And if you need me to restate the question, you can ask that.
Okay.
So what personal or professional experience do you have that makes you uniquely qualified to lead Franklin County?
Thank you, Mr. John. That's a great question. And I know this is going to help you better understand the difference between the two candidates. I grew up in Franklin County. I was born in Royston, and I got a degree in business management from a Florida college. And I've worked for Fortune 100 companies all my life. And my job has been problem solving on a daily basis. And I go out and I take care of customers' needs. I identify their needs. I look at the criteria, and then I come up with an immediate solution. And I implement and execute against that solution. And that's why it's going to transfer over as a Franklin County Commissioner for District 4. And thank you very much for that question.
I got it. So my qualifications to be commissioner, personally, I'm a seventh generation Franklin Countyan. My wife and my children are in the school system here. My wife works in the school system, and I'm, proud of what they do and their involvement in the community. I'm a member of Royston Baptist Church. I'm active in the community. I coach youth sports. I'm a farmer. I'm a landowner. I'm a taxpayer. So I have a personal investment in this county and the future of this county. My professional qualifications, I have a degree in business administration from Emmanuel College. I'm a loan officer by trade. I make loans for land, poultry houses, single home construction. I've loaned millions of dollars in Franklin County and the surrounding area over my career of over 13 years. I'm used to looking at budgets, analyzing business tax returns, looking at responsible business growth, and it translates to the county because the county's basically ran like a business. And that's what I've done my whole career, is analyze farm businesses and other entities. So, I'm familiar with economic development and also with working families. I know what it's like to be a working family. I know what the needs of our community are. So those would be the qualifications I have. Thank you.
The next question is going to be for Kyle. You'll go first. So all candidates have endorsed some version of supporting smart or common sense growth while protecting farmland. Can you be specific about what you understand smart growth to mean and how you would work to implement what you described?
Gotcha. So my opinion of smart and common sense type growth is practical and balanced growth. Planning ahead, starting with securing our water supply. That's a major issue that we're facing right now. To have growth, we have to have good water supply, and clean water. We have to protect our land as a priority, and we have to plan ahead using our comprehensive plan, using our UDC, and the path that we have set forward for this county. We've set a plan. We need to follow it. And if we follow that plan, we can have the county that we want in the future. But that's smart growth. Avoiding land use conflicts, avoiding putting a loud industry beside a residential neighborhood, avoiding putting a residential neighborhood beside a poultry or hog farm. We don't want conflicts. And we don't want threats to our way of life and our health and our affordability. Thank you.
Yes, please.
Second question to Mr. Wesley Fritz. All candidates have endorsed some version of supporting smarter common sense growth while protecting farmland. Can you be specific about what you understand smart growth to mean and how you would work to implement what you described?
Sorry about that. Yes, smart growth to me is identifying opportunities to bring common sense industrial growth to our area. We have 4 interchanges off of I-85 where we can plan some smart industrial growth in those areas. And where if it does require vehicles, it's not going to be, they're going to be able to get on and off the exits and not driving through communities. And Mr. Westbrook mentioned earlier about not paving roads through farmland. Well, that's great. But the problem with that is if you look at how much land there is in farmland, there's 68,000 acres in the farmland in Franklin County. There are 669 farms in Franklin County. And there is approximately, that raises poultry and beef. And there's approximately 167,040 acres of land in Franklin County that covers the whole county. Meaning that we have 100,000 acres of property that is not farmland. And so what that means is we have enough property to balance the common sense industrial growth while still protecting our farmland. Thank you for that question.
All right, so Wesley, this is going to be your question first. What is your opinion of the United Development Code, UDC code? Do you wish to remove it or amend it? What specific changes would you make, if any?
That's a great question also, because I know it's a hot topic on everybody's mind. But we have elected officials on the board now who are reviewing that. I've been to every one of the reviews, and I think that they're doing an excellent job in taking the opportunity to look at it to see if they need to condense it or remove it or leave it as it is. And I trust that they're going to do the right thing. And I think it needs to be looked at. I think it needs to be determined what we need to do with it, because there are some complaints out there about what we should do with it. And I trust my elected officials that they're going to make the right call. But I'm going to be standing there in those meetings right beside them and helping them and giving input when I can. And I hope that they're looking to all the citizens of Franklin County to get the input so that whatever they do, it will impact in a positive way all the citizens of Franklin County. And that's what I think about the UDC.
If you don't mind.
Kyle Westbrook, for you, what is your opinion of the United Development Code? Do you wish to remove it or amend it? And what specific changes would you make if you did?
So I like the UDC as a whole. I think it's a good working document that we need to continue to work on. I've listened to the recent meetings, and it sounds like they're making good progress on making changes that we need to the UDC. You look at Hart County, we don't want to remove our UDC. That would be a nightmare. It would open us up to all kinds of unnecessary development. You look at Hart County, they don't have zoning. So they're doing moratoriums, trying to stop housing developments. I don't know if they have one right now, but in the past year or two, that's what they were doing. And because they're getting houses popping up everywhere on the roads, using existing infrastructure. Developers aren't having to put in infrastructure. They're using the water taps and all that's there. They're not building roads for the communities. So our UDC protects us in a lot of ways from those type of things. I think we need to synchronize residential setbacks like they're working on. That's a good idea. I also like the idea of measuring our setbacks from the center of the road instead of the right-of-way, because we don't know where every right-of-way is. Simple changes like that will go a long way. I think the ag protection in the UDC is good. I like that a lot of our properties are zoned ag intensive and ag general. Gumlog will be an exception to our residential. They have a lot of different needs with their lakeside residential zoning that doesn't match the rest of the county because the lots are so small there, and they have a higher density population. So maybe their stuff should be a little different, but I think we need to keep working on the UDC. We're on the right path, and it's a document that needs to be continued to look at until we find something that satisfies everybody. Thank you.
All right, the next question, and this will be for Kyle, you're going to go first on this one. How do you understand growth, both residential and industrial, and its effect on property taxes?
Okay. So, vacant land doesn't cost the county money. Vacant land brings revenue to the county. It doesn't bring a lot, but it doesn't cost us. Residential growth as a whole costs our county money. If you take a $300,000 home with a family of four, their property taxes at 40% are going to be around $120,000 value. Say they pay $2,700 in taxes. 60% of that goes to the school system. We may get $1,000 off of that home. The cost to educate those kids is going to be $15,000, $20,000 a year. So we're going to lose money there. Now, we need houses. Everybody needs houses, so we do. But when we look at a large residential development, we don't need to get it just because we think we need it. We need to have a purpose for that. We need to have jobs available, things like that. We don't need to just pursue large residential growth without a need. Industrial growth, we definitely need. We hear that all the time. We need industry. I hear it at every meeting. We need industry. We need industry. We have plenty of industrial parks available. We have land set aside, zone, light industrial, and whatnot for this industry. We just got to get it in here. And once we do, we can pick the type of industry we want for this county that's going to benefit us. We don't have to rush and take anything that comes. We're between Greenville and Atlanta. We hold the cards. Thank you.
Yeah, Clay. You want me to move this up a little bit so you can walk behind it? Let me do that. Go ahead. We go while you're up there. Yeah, I think it will.
Same question to you, Wesley. So, how do you understand growth, both residential and industrial, and its effect on property taxes?
I thank you for that question. This is going to be my easiest question. Smart, common sense industrial growth coming to Franklin County is going to lower your taxes. Residential growth is going to increase your taxes. So you tell me what you want. I'm opposed to residential growth.
All right, Wesley, this is for you. First, recently, both residential and industrial developments have found an absence of infrastructure to be a hurdle, specifically a lack of access to water. How and where do you expect to develop infrastructure to facilitate the type of development you hope to see in Franklin County?
I'm not an expert in this area, but I do want to tell you that what I've been told and what I've listened to people all across Franklin County say is we got a water crisis, right? And what have I said in all my interviews? The county's not working with the municipal government, right? Like the cities and the communities to try to get a comprehensive plan for a solution to our water. Well, I'm here to tell you today that there's a city in this county that's working on that, and they've been working hard on it. And they're looking at a water solution that is in progress. That is the first part of it's going to be phase 1 and phase 2. It's going to cost $5 million is the total cost. right? So they already looking at a $3 million grant. And so that's going to be covered by, it's only going to be $2 million covered by the taxpayer. Now, the good part about that is that's also includes phase 1 and phase 2, because phase 2 is $5 million as well, but it's already fully funded, right? So phase 3 is going to be a $20 million cost to the city and to the residents, right? So that's already been fully funded. So you're talking about a $32 million project that's in place that's going to happen over the next 5 years, right? That could take 5 years to be fully implemented. And it's only going to cost taxpayers $2 million. And I'm learning more and more about that project, but I'm telling you, help is on the way. And as a county commissioner, I'm going to work and do everything in my possible power to bring the county together so that the commissioners can work very closely with the municipal leaders so we can develop a comprehensive plan such as this one and implement it so that it benefits everybody in the county and solves our water problem, okay? So thank you very much.
Yeah, if you don't mind.
Same question for you, Kyle. So recently, both residential and industrial developments have found an absence of infrastructure to be a hurdle, specifically a lack of access to water. How and where do you expect to develop infrastructure to facilitate the type of development you hope to see in Franklin County?
All right. So regarding our water, we definitely have a water problem. We're all aware of that. And I think Livonia is working on something that's probably going to benefit the county sooner rather than later. And that's great. That would solve a lot of our problems, hopefully. But right now, we're working on wells. I think that's a temporary solution. It's not going to be a long-term fix to our water problems. As we grow, we're going to need more and more water. You know, if we have to look into a water treatment plant, if we're going to do things like that, put infrastructure where we want growth, I would say a place like Livonia, somewhere close to that, would be best for a water treatment plant because we see growth coming there. Other sources of water, you know, they say it takes 20 years to tap into Lake Hartwell. You know, I don't know how feasible that would be for us right now, but, you know, we could look at starting a process of building a reservoir. I like that idea. I also like the idea of, you know, we have rivers. We could look at doing something with treating the river water. We have 3 or 4 rivers that come through the county. But, you know, we definitely have to figure out the water, and we want our infrastructure and a water treatment plant at a location where we want growth. And that would be near 85, near Livonia, where we're already getting the most of it. Thank you.
This is a question for you, Kyle, to start with. When it comes to development, the Industrial Building Authority plays an important role. How do you understand that role, and what type of relationship do you wish to have between the Board of Commissioners and the IBA?
Okay. So the Board of Commissioners and the IBA need to have a great relationship. It needs to be improved. We need better communication there. The IBA was created in 1962 to provide, you know, to find industry and promote industry in Franklin County. That was around the same time that 85 came through the county. I think we're one of 7 counties in the state of Georgia that has an IBA. But the Board of Commissioners and the IBA have to work together. I've heard there's been some strains in that relationship, but you know, the IBA structure, we cannot help at this point. The IBA is structured the way it is. It was a congressional act. But we can try to work with that structure to find solutions that find industry for our county, because that's what they're there for, to find industry for our county. And we have industrial parks available, land zone for industrial that the IBA's bought, and that's where we need to focus this industrial growth. But I'm all for working with the IBA, doing everything I can to solve this industrial problem we have. Thank you.
I hate to do that to you.
All right, so Wesley, this is for you. When it comes to development, the industrial building authority plays an important role. How do you understand that role, and what type of a relationship do you wish to have between the Board of Commissioners and the IBA?
Thank you. I served with Tanya on the tourism committee several years back. I want to, and I worked with Senator DeGan on a few projects when I was executive director for the Ty Cobb Museum and some other things. So I think we have a great relationship with those people. And we need to go in and find a way to build a stronger relationship with the IBA, just like we're going to do with the municipalities. We need to put together a cooperative effort with the IBAs and the local leadership of the municipalities to come up with an ultimate plan to solve some of our industrial growth problems or or water problems. And so I'm looking forward to working with those people in the future and coming up with a solution that works for every citizen in the county. Because I know one thing, if nothing else, I know one thing, that the IBA is going to be a tool that we can use to help us bring in some common sense, smart industrial growth that's going to lower the taxes on the property owners in Franklin County. And that's what I'm for. I'm behind that relationship 100%. And I just look forward to working with the IBA. And thank you very much for that question.
All right, Wesley, this will be for you again. What factors would cause you to reject an industrial or residential project? And what would cause you to approve one?
Mr. John, you just come up with some great questions. You just keep on, you're on a roll, buddy. Hey, can you repeat the question again? No, I'm just kidding. What would determine whether or not I would reject some industrial growth that was trying to come in our county? First of all, it has to be a fit. It has to be a good fit, right? It has to be a really good fit for our community. And if it doesn't benefit every citizen in the county, then, I would reject it. We're looking for, I work for FedEx. I don't know if y'all know that, but I work for FedEx. So I'm up and down the interstate every day, the I-85 corridor, all the way past Jefferson. And I'm picking up and delivering to those businesses up and down the 85 corridor. And I question that to myself, would this be a good fit in Franklin County or in one of our industrial parks? And there's a lot of good community-friendly businesses out there that would fall right in place here in Franklin County. And I would approve that. There's also some businesses that would want to come here that I would disapprove of. But first thing I would do is listen to the constituents and find out what it is that they want. Because this ain't about Wesley Fricks in the sense that, we're here for me, we're here for the citizens. You want to go and ask and poll your citizens and get a feel for them what they want. And we've been doing that. We've been out, last month talking to farmers out in the, corner of the county, people in the city, and we want to find out what all the citizens of this community want so that we can execute against those needs. And that's the guiding factor that I would use in determining whether something was good for the community or not. I would just poll my people, because that's what you should do as a politician, because you're a public servant and you serve the people, and that's your job to, your job is to have a fiduciary duty to carry out the wishes of the people. And that's what I'm going to do if I'm elected. Thank you for that question.
Yeah, that's good. So whether we approve or deny a project, it depends if it's good for us. It depends if it's going to help our taxes, if it's going to be a burden to the community, if it's going to be something that the people here want. It's not that hard of a question, really. But I feel like we say, my motto with development is kind of the way I see things and we treat our life. We say no to a lot of things in life so that we can get the good things. I just don't want us rushing to approve everything. We don't need to feel that way. We need to feel that we can pick and choose what we want in this county because of our location. But definitely anything we get is going to be beneficial to the county if I'm in office. And it's going to help our taxes, and it's not going to be a burden to neighbors and cause unnecessary problems for this county. Thank you.
All right, Kyle, this is for you. How do you view the trade-off between recruiting large industrial employers and maintaining the small business and agricultural opportunities that have historically sustained the county?
Okay. I'm a proponent for small business. I like the idea of us having more small industries rather than one large industry. You kind of spread the risk that way. You look at SK Battery, for example. Commerce took in SK Battery, and now they're laying off tons of people because the electric industry didn't boom like we were told it would. So, you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket and recruit one large industry and offer it the world unless you know that it's going to be a great solution for your needs and your industrial needs. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with large industry, but I would much rather see us cater to small business, 250 employees or less, that's going to create jobs for our CTAE students out of high school, things like machining, fabrication, appliance manufacturing, electrical components, things like that. I like the small industry better than having one or two large ones. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yes, sir. Right check.
All right, Wesley, for you, how do you view the trade-off between recruiting large industrial employers and maintaining small business and agricultural opportunities that have historically sustained the county?
Thank you. Those are segments of the business that we need to nurture, and small businesses and agricultural businesses. But they do show up on the tax digest in many cases and bring in tax revenue. But and I'm all for small growth, but we also need some growth that's going to bring in some tax revenue to the digest, because that's the only way we're going to be able to substantially reduce and lower the taxes on the citizens of our county. Everywhere I go, and everybody I talk to, it's a tear fest that their taxes have doubled or their taxes have went up to a point where they beginning to wonder how much higher they can go. And we're going to have somebody that's going to be in office that's going to be aggressive toward reducing the taxes and lowering the taxes for our taxpaying citizens, for our property tax owner. And we're going to have to look at the right industry that's going to help us do that. And that's going to be a guiding factor as far as I'm concerned. I'm going to look at two things. When I look at an industry that's coming to our community or looking to come to our community, I'm going to say, is it going to help us lower taxes, and is it going to bring jobs to our county? And those are the two most important factors that I would judge how we try to attract businesses to our county. Thank you.
All right, Wesley, for you again. He's a little bit taller than the rest of us. All right, so how do you plan to evaluate the long-term physical impact of industrial recruitment deals, including hidden costs, increased demands on roads, schools, and utilities? Got it?
I think so. I tell you one thing, we gotta find a way a different way of doing business with people who are going to come in here and expect 5 or 7 years of tax-free money. We got to figure out a way to come up with a better deal, because allowing somebody to come in here and giving them a 7-year tax break is not, I mean, we need some immediate return, or a little bit, a return on a little bit smaller timeline. Because when that happens, and we're not bringing taxes in here, it's creating a strain on our tax-paying citizens, and we need to look at that real seriously and figure out a better way, negotiate a better deal in trying to get businesses here where we don't have to give them an extended tax deferral. So that's kind of what I would, how I would view it. I appreciate the question.
All right, now, for you, how do you plan to evaluate the true long-term physical impact of industrial recruitment, including hidden costs like increased demands on roads, schools, and utilities?
Yeah, so I'm not for, giving a tax break to a large corporation, because they'll probably come here anyways, if we have the right spot for them, because we have plenty of available land. There's the but-for test. They say, that a town will offer some big industry a big tax abatement or whatnot when they would have probably came anyways. I would rather see us offer those type of things to our local guys that want to expand their business, and smaller businesses that want to come here. But when you get industry, you're looking at 100 years impact that's going to have on your community. So you definitely have to be sure that the cost, the demographics that's going to come in, the population growth, the burden on your schools, your roads, your infrastructure. So we definitely need to study these industries that come in here to know if we're going to make money on them, or if in the long term it's going to be a burden that costs us money. That's something we have to look at, are the unforeseen costs in the future. Thank you.
So this is the last question, and then the closing statements. Kyle, so this is for you. What is your vision of a thriving Franklin County?
My vision for a thriving Franklin County is a county that has good schools, good jobs, and fair taxes. It's well known I like Franklin County being rural. I know it's going to be hard to maintain that where we're at, and being on 85 and being between Greenville and Atlanta. But if we can get some good industry in here to help with these taxes and lower, I'm not going to promise to lower taxes, I'm sorry. If we can try to keep taxes low, then we can make this community thrive. I mean, we have a great county here. We have great people here. And I want to see our people be successful. I want to see our people be able to work here at home, and also be able to have a nice small farm, nice hobby farm, or live in a town, in a nice, friendly town with a good downtown area, low crime. That's what I see as a thriving community. Thank you.
No, I got you. I'm going to give you a break this time. Thank you. I am going to work hard. I'm going to be the hardest working commissioner you ever had, and I am going to lower your taxes by any and every way that I possibly can. I'm going to work. That's going to be my mission from day one, is to make sure I work hard to lower taxes for the hardworking citizens of Franklin County. You got my promise on it.
All right, so I'm almost done. So now we're going to allow you guys to give your closing statement. So Wesley, you're going to go first.
Okay.
Thank you guys for allowing me to do this and being here.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate y'all giving me the opportunity to speak before you this afternoon. Mr. Westbrook has been very open about keeping things the way they are when he was growing up. He just told you, you heard it from him. And the truth of the things are that, the truth of it is that things weren't today like they were 30 or 40 years ago. And times have changed. Things have changed in the last 5 years. And it's certainly changed in the last 30 years. Even when I was growing up, things have changed dramatically. Franklin County is growing at 2%. And we've been growing in every way you can imagine, but the growth is taking place. Things are changing in the world. And Franklin County is in a position that it's currently in because of a clear lack of planning, a lack of being proactive on water issues, and that is why the water issue is going on, and it's where it is to this day. That's why we all have had this hotly debated stuff about the sewer, the infrastructure, and the county can't pave a road or even scrape one. So if that is where you want to head, is that where you want to take your county? The same problem Franklin County has had for the last 20 years. If that's what you want, and if that's what you want to do is to kick the can down the road, then I encourage you to vote for my opponent, Mr. Kyle Westbrook. If you want progress, if you want growth, if you want lower taxes, if you want common sense industrial growth brought to this community in a smart way and placed in a smart place, and if you want to see 4 years from now, if you want to look back and see a hard-working commissioner, the hardest working commissioner you've ever seen, and who's going to stand up and deal with the issues that Franklin County's been facing for the last 20 years. And then I'm asking you for your vote. And I'm asking you to vote for Franklin County Commissioner, District 4. And let's stand and unite Franklin County. Thank you so much. Hold that one second. There's a little thing right here. It keeps falling out. Sorry, didn't mean to damage the podium. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Almost over. Friends and neighbors, thank you for spending your Saturday here and investing your time in Franklin County's future. Again, I'm Kyle Westbrook, and I'm asking for your vote on May 19th for Franklin County Board of Commissioners, District 4. This race isn't about me. It's about the kind of county we leave for the next generation. I believe we can secure a dependable water supply that supports both our families and our farms, guide responsible growth that brings opportunity without sacrificing our heritage, and modernize our development rules so they work for homeowners and small businesses instead of against them. These aren't just my talking points, they're practical steps we must take to keep Franklin County affordable, prosperous, and true to who we are. As your commissioner, I will lead with steady, common sense judgment. I will listen more than I speak. I'll put taxpayers first and work across differences to get results. You deserve a commissioner who shows up, stays accessible, and will always remember that this is your county, not a political stepping stone. To every candidate who participated today, thank you for stepping up. And to those who are going to participate today, thank you. To the Franklin County Republican Party leadership and volunteers, your work keeps our values strong and our process honest. And to the fans and the supporters that came today, thank you for being engaged and taking time in your Saturday to come out and listen to this forum. That engagement's what makes our community so special. Early voting is right around the corner. If you want principled leadership that protects our water, our farms, our families, and our future, I humbly ask for your support on May 19th. Let's move Franklin County forward together, keeping it a place where hard work is rewarded, families thrive, and the next chapter is even better than the last. Thank you.